just had a chance to put real limits on Donald Trump's war with Iran, and instead, Congress basically stepped back and let him keep going. The fight over this vote is turning into one of the most explosive political storylines in America right now because it hits the nerve that both parties hate talking about: who actually gets to decide when the US goes to war. What set this off was a new round of US and Israeli strikes on Iran that the White House launched without asking for fresh authorization from Congress. The campaign has already hit missile sites, naval facilities, and other targets, killed senior Iranian officials, and triggered retaliation across the region, all while Trump insists he's acting under his powers as commander-in-chief. Critics say this isn't a one-off strike anymore. It looks like the opening phase of a wider, open-ended war. But that's where things took a turn. A bipartisan pair in the House, Progressive Democrat Ro Khanna and Libertarian-leaning Republican Thomas Massie, pushed a war powers resolution that would have forced Trump to get explicit congressional approval before continuing major hostilities with Iran. The idea was simple: no more blank checks, no more relying on 20-year-old authorizations to justify new wars in new places. What happened next caught a lot of people off guard. When the House finally voted, the measure failed, 212 to 219, a narrow defeat that only happened because 4 Democrats crossed over and joined most Republicans to kill it. That vote came less than 24 hours after the Senate blocked a similar effort, with Republicans mostly sticking together to stop any attempt to legally box in the president's Iran moves. On paper, Congress had a clear, direct way to reclaim some war powers and then walked away. Supporters of Trump say that was the right call. Republican leaders argued that tying the president's hands in the middle of an ongoing campaign would empower our enemies, kneecap our own forces, and send exactly the wrong message to Tehran. They say Iran is still a serious threat, that its missile program and proxies are targeting American troops, and that Trump needs room to act fast without waiting for Congress to argue over every strike. But here's the part that really changed the story. Democrats and a handful of Republicans like Massie fired back that this isn't just about Trump, it's about the Constitution. They point out that under the Constitution, Congress is supposed to decide when the country goes to war, not simply let presidents stretch old 2001 and 2002 war authorizations into brand new conflicts forever. For them, Iran has become the clearest example yet of what they call presidents on autopilot when it comes to military force. That's when this stopped being just another headline and turned into a full-blown war powers showdown. Trump has already ordered strikes in several countries during his second term without new authorization votes, insisting he's well within existing law and his inherent authority as commander-in-chief. Lawmakers say they're increasingly frustrated at being briefed after the fact, told to trust intelligence they can't fully see, and then asked to take the political hit if things go wrong. In other words, Trump gets the power, Congress gets the blame. And then the backlash got even louder outside the Capitol. Headlines blasted that the House had rejected an effort to rein in Trump's Iran war powers, framing it as Congress blinking in the face of a rising conflict. Anti-war voices argued the vote shows both parties are still too scared to take a clear stand against another long, undefined military campaign in the Middle East. On the other side, hawkish commentators cheered the result as proof that, when it counts, Washington will still project strength and not second-guess the president in the middle of a fight. But here's why this is blowing up in American politics right now. It's not happening in a vacuum. Trump is back in the White House. He's running an aggressive America-first foreign policy, and he's leaning heavily into the image of a decisive wartime president. Democrats see the failed war powers vote as exhibitor in the case that he's an unrestrained commander-in-chief. Republicans see it as proof that Democrats will always flinch when it comes to confronting Iran. Both sides are already turning these clips and these roll call votes into campaign ads targeting swing state voters who are tired of endless wars but still worried about national security. So where does that leave everything now? Trump still has wide latitude to keep hitting Iran without coming back to Congress, as long as he can argue it fits under existing authority and self-defense. Lawmakers can keep introducing resolutions, but as this week showed, getting enough of them to actually pull the plug on a sitting president's war is a whole different story. And whether this fades out or turns into something much bigger, the political fallout over war powers, over presidential authority, and over who really owns America's next war is already underway.